I get these calls every day. I wake up to see messages on my phone. I get calls. I get text messages. People are desperately in trouble, and they found out that in the day of their trouble, they could not pray. And for many years, I have brought admonition. I have brought words in prayer. But in the last few weeks, I have come with the same instruction. You were not designed for prayer. And when you find out that what you need to do to reach a God who will bail you out is something you are not designed for, that moment of realization will make you beckon on him for help. I don't pray because I know how to pray. I ask him every time, can you help me to pray? Paul was not one given to mental assent when it came to the things of faith or life in the spirit. He was a practical man. And in Romans chapter 8, don't go there, I'll just show you something here. When he was seeking to give us a picture of how effectively the spirit functions to douse the effects of our infirmity, he didn't go into any other area outside prayer. To make us understand that on the scale of the manifestations of infirmity, prayer is at the top. It's something every man who seeks the intervention of God will need to do, but it is something that no man can do effectively, because your attempts will advertise that you were designed to be weak in that aspect. It is so that when you pray and God answers, you will never be able to boast that it was your prayer that made him answer. Even the prayer, you will help to do it. And finding Jesus in the crowd, if focusing on him was something that we could do, then the apostles will have singled it out as a ground for superiority. But they found out that even if you start out like that, sustaining it is impossible. Peter is an example. He was doing an impossible thing that was sponsored by focus. And even though he knew that if he lost focus he was going to sink, he was still distracted. How do you know that this activity is what will preserve you and it's still possible to take you out from it? It means the fear of perishing cannot keep you focused. We were designed to be helped. We were designed to be helped. Can you? Okay. Now this was the story of Saul of Tarsus. He was traveling in a company because he had received an edict from the rulers of the law, and it was to arrest those who had subscribed to the way. I like to picture scriptures a lot, and I perceive that there must have been an ensuing conversation. There were many. They must have been strategizing how to pick, how to arrest, how to bind. They also may have been reminiscing, just refreshing their minds as to how they arrested the last ones. But in the midst of that noise, Saul did not lack focus because he had men walking with him. Saul did not lack communication because there must have been men discussing with him. But in the midst of all of that, the great interrupter came in. He came with a light that took out everybody that Saul was walking it, because when he shines, he blinds you to every other thing. What prayer did Saul pray to occasion that dimension of an encounter? It was beyond him. It was an election of grace. Now today I will come to you. There must have been an ongoing conversation, but when he began to speak, the voices of every other one was isolated, and he was switched on to a frequency that he didn't need to find. If you see him, it's because he came. If you sustain focus, it's because he stayed. Can you plead with him that he will be intentional about you? I have seen the futility of trying to find and to stay glued to a spirit, you don't have the eyes to see him. The labors hitherto were to draw us to a place where we can confess infirmity. I'm sure what Pastor said, some of the things he said tonight, you have heard before, but he was sent to reiterate them because your hearing did not produce compliance. Thank you. Lepono sostatuma rando bahiba na to makai. Aile mopela sufra batome runatale. Ampena sobaba kampe mofinando Anatolia. Emeno kopalo sainto makambile tula rato kamostantame mo aipepe kambe kulataya ambe ratos kale barante mamefenato ambe paloto nambrahanto latai. We have labored with the things that we have learned, and our conclusion is that you cannot be found except you come into our space. Interrupt my journey, this pursuit of you that has occasioned the reality of futility. Interrupt me. I'm asking, Lord, that suddenly my case will come up before you and you will become findable, you will become seeable, and that you will stay so that you remain the object of my focus. I know that when you become findable, there will be nothing worth exchanging with you. Asota mame movela hagohota omerako mosanto manai babreto la kwa papokamato aduanto tesokomema matelebo kambelianto askaba rinominato ekopemberahaya aikapela kambretus kaletafona apambia pelo mekano. Until you help me, I will keep searching for you. Until you help me, I will never find you. Until you help me, my finding will occasion a loss. Oh, Shalura Habota, Sambro Hatwata, Bababoka Mumutale, Metovino, Metocanstoneto, Merocatole Antome Cabo, Batatiskata, Barakato Natoa, Atwaka Popanato, Epenemeraka, Baite, Soilamako, Soikaparata, Rekemematon Shatatata. Until you are found, and in that day the testimony will not be of a finding, it will be that you become visible. You are the God that hideth himself, and until you show yourself, a man will not see you. Tonight we come after the order of Moses, and we ask, if we have found grace in your sight, then show us who you are. Let us see that we diminishes every other thing of value until you remain. What is that thing that we will find that will make us spend our lives upon you? Is that you showed up. Play. It's a cry of the desperate. Amoyona silalo talia tala Rapona no sesi santa natoa. The choir can breathe that sound. Don't sing it, just breathe it. Shamena tonato sahada hey. Kainana sutako atabaka. We have come to this place for too long, and tonight we want mercy to force a finding. I just Silama Komeleato. Let him know that be more silent materia. Pakukatwa, Rakokatwa, Kakakapo, Takila Kapapa, Sambako, Rotela Koya. I just Silama Komeleato. Let him know that be more silent materia. Pakukatwa, Rakokatwa, Kakakapo, Takila Kapapa, Sambako, Rotela Koya. Ayatata, Ekafina, Papa Kaka, Rata Papa Santa, Nimeka, Ay, Topepera, Santa, Tapa Papa Rata, Rata Talitanta, Sailatoa, Abaras, Shata Kaka, Kaka, Ayata, Safina la nota Ayatesta Santa Barbara Santa Lenato Benadisa Santina Teta Santa Bebelato Rata Papatiata Otayasa Otanema Momela Fatalesha Santa la Babo No man can see what you have not revealed. Hey, mommy, I saw that. Let me know later that according to the body that your servant has raised, there will be many that will find you. We will be many that will stay our focus on you. Ayana no atokuma sole mukuatoda kebumu kapanta kuate okwatu kaluanta rutaye ratoko koselanta mebukuva babebot babele sebile atomba rabo tobibot minosolato. Oh, we thank you. Yes, we thank you. We want to see your face. We want to know your ways. We want to touch your grace, that we may live your days. We want to see you. Adiano sohata eleyate susuhaka kababoyato. We want to see you. Thank you, Father. In the name of Jesus, we have prayed. You may be seated. My heart cries out, glory to the King, my greatest love in life. I hand you everything, glory, glory. I hear the angels sing. So endless, the answer to my dreams. I see you crowned in righteousness and cry glory to the King. You're the comforter to the lonely, the lifter of my head, and I see you reign in majesty. I cry glory, glory. I cry glory to the King. As I cry glory, glory. I cry glory to the King, and I cry glory.